This is Judge Joe Brown, and you're watching We All Be News TV, the
News-free Dixie.
News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Good afternoon and welcome to the A.L.L. Persons Memorial Dedication. My name is Zoe Parker and I'm absolutely thrilled to see many familiar and unfamiliar faces in the crowd to join in on the service today. We are here today to give voice to an incident that was lost in Memphis history 100 years ago. I hope that all of you learned something from today and that you leave with wanting to make a difference for the better. On behalf of Students United Memphis and Overton's Facing History and Ourselves, I would like to welcome you to our dedication and thank you for all of your support. Thank you. And now we are honored to have Mr. Elliot Perry for our remarks.
All right, thank you. I won't take long. I'm here primarily when I heard about this event and when I heard about the young people really moving forward to do something. We always talk about they could be bystanders or they could do something. And I wanted to support them because I wanted them to see the power that they have when they use their own voice to advocate for something that happened in their community. Either we can use this incident in two ways. One, we can use it to be an informative, something that we learn from, and obviously, hopefully we all learn something from it. But we also want it to be transformative for our young people, that not only do they learn something from it, that they do something about it. And so looking at the crowd today, you see a ton of people, from young people to older people, and we all realize that we have a voice. And I was super proud of these young people because they stepped forward and they decided to use their voice to advocate for something that happened in our community that shouldn't have happened. And so that's why I'm here, to be a support agent for our young people. And hopefully all of us are here to do the same thing. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Marty Tippins. Murphy.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be with you all here today. I'm Marty Tippins Murphy. I'm the Executive Director of Facing History and Ourselves in Memphis. We talk a lot about what is history, and we know that history is what shapes us. I guess you could say in kind of colloquial terms that history is us, right? We are history, and we've inherited history. And we're the heirs to the culture of white supremacy that terrorized and lynched African Americans. The culture that made it acceptable for fathers and mothers to bring their children to witness a barbaric and cruel murder, thereby desensitizing and indoctrinating the next generation and normalizing a culture of violence. And we are the heirs to the trauma of lynching and the threat of lynching and the impact on families and communities. We must own the fact that fathers and mothers knew they were not safe and they had to protect their children in any way they knew how, including teaching them that they were not safe. A lesson that continues to be taught, need to be taught today, sadly. We're heirs to the silence of the bystanders, of those who may have been horrified but still remain silent, those who may have understood on some level that to be silent is to condone and therefore preserve the status quo. But we must not forget that we are also the heirs of the courage of the upstanders. If it was not for the hope and the fight for justice of the upstanders, we would not be here today. Upstanders like the members of the NAACP, who immediately after the lynching came to Memphis to form a chapter. Upstanders like Ida B. Wells, who fought and wrote and spoke up against lynching for decades, always working to shine the light of truth. And the upstanders who will remain anonymous, but who every day got up and with love and hope continued to fight for justice. It is because of them that we are here today. And by taking responsibility for remembering A.L. Persons and making sure that his story is known, Students Uniting Memphis of Facing History and Ourselves, class at Overton High School, are upstanders too. And we are very grateful to them. Because we're here today, we can ask, what is justice for A.L. Persons today? We are here to remember not a victim, but a human being, a son, a brother, a husband, a friend, a member of our community. Markers, memorials, and statues tell a story of how we choose to remember the past and what we say about ourselves. They reflect our values and they reflect who we are. Because we're here today, we are creating a new narrative. We are saying that we are people who will stand up and take action and heal the wounds of the past and stop modern day forms of racial injustice. It won't be easy, but we can do so with hope because we are here today and history is us.
My name is Jimmy Ogle. I'm the Shelby County historian. I'm representing the Shelby County Historical Commission. Dr. Taylor, will you come up here, please? And thank you, Elliot Perry. Now, here's Elliot Perry, Treadwell High School, University of Memphis, stayed in this hometown, shares a lot with his community, puts a lot in his community. Let's save another round of applause for Elliot. So thank you so much for all you do in all walks of life here in Memphis, Tennessee. You're a real role model for all of us. Thank you. Dr. Taylor called me back last October and emailed me about having a historical marker for A.L. Persons. We know that during the course of the last year, another effort with Lynching Sites Memphis and Saving History and Ourselves and the Memphis branch of the NAACP and the National Park Service were also working on this for a different marker at a different location. And she kind of was, well, her students been working on this for more than a year, you know, and done research and raised money and things like that. And it just kind of, what do I do? And I said, no, we're going to get these students to keep on working and let them see the fruits of their research and labor and be youngsters, teenagers that in 30 years can come driving by this site right here and see something they've done. I've been able to help install about, thank you, yeah. I've been able to help install about 40 markers in the last 8 years of different kinds, and it's just a real thrill to see them around our town. Now, here we have something going on, so we encouraged Dr. Taylor here, who was really happy about that, and our text committee met with the students on January 19th at Overton, Students Uniting Memphis, and I want to read those students' names right now. Moya Alberts, Kari Bowman, Cornisha Good, Quentin Griffin, Cam Johnson, Elton Nichols, Zoe Parker, Malik Rudd, Alexis Sledge, and Taylor Williams. Let's give them a round of applause. Overton High School. And we were able to get a good documentation, a good text written. At the same time, the other group, a combined other group, was going through some challenges as far as the site location and getting access, and with the Shelby County Conservation Board and Wolf River Conservancy Plan not quite being along yet. So that's why we're going to be over in the tent in a little while here, and a temporary site will be had for that marker till the permanent site can be done in a couple of years, with the full opening of the trail going from Shelby Farms Park all the way down to the Mississippi River. And that'll be right there at the historic site there for that marker, and that'll be rededicated down the road here. In the meantime, we now have this marker right here from the Shelby County Historical Commissions and the Students Uniting Memphis of Overton High School. And like I like to say about Memphis, Tennessee, there's no city in America or county that tells a story of American history better than Memphis and Shelby County, from the early Native Americans and European explorers to the 20th century entrepreneurs, from Civil War to civil rights, music, medicine, transportation, all the highlights, all the firsts. It's just a remarkable history here. We're number 6 on the National Register of Historic Places for listings in our country. Think about that. We're really out here on it. Now, our Shelby County Historical Commission has been around since 1964. We have several of our members here I want to recognize in our Markers Committee. If y'all just raise your hands right there. Jim Cole, Valerie Barfield, Jay Bobo, Sylvester Lewis, John McNary, I believe is over here. Kevin Quim is filming right here. I'm sure Mark Stansberry's out there somewhere in the audience, but we have 24 dedicated members in a Markers Committee that does a terrific job. The last few markers we've done, March 25th, we dedicated a marker on Main Street, the only historical marker on Main Street between Poplar and Beale, for the Lee sisters, the most arrested family in America in the 1960s, according to Jet Magazine. You know Elaine Lee Turner and Joan Lee Nelson, for their peaceful sit-ins and protests. They get a right to be in the library and the lunch counter. And it's right there in front of Royal Furniture, right where the old black and white Shanebergs used to be. And right before that, we did Dr. Pinkston, Green Fort Pinkston out here in Cordova, a doctor who got his land taken away in the 1960s by TVA. We've done 3 churches in the last couple of years: Grays Creek Missionary Baptist Church and Cemetery out in the county, Greenwood AME Church and Cemetery, Oakville Missionary Baptist Church. We did the Memphis State 8 back in 2011 on the centennial of Memphis State, or the University of Memphis, let's say. Those 8 students that braved going to break the color barrier at the University of Memphis way back in 1959. And probably one of our best moments was just 2 Octobers ago, on October the 3rd. We dedicated 4 markers to 13 pint-sized pioneers, the Memphis 13 that desegregated Memphis City Schools in 1961. At Bruce, Roselle, Gordon, and Springdale Elementary Schools, and those markers are all around our community right now. And 2 years ago, we dedicated a marker to R.S. Lewis and Sons Funeral Home, the funeral home that received Dr. King's body here in Memphis and prepared it for viewing. So the variety of our markers are all over the community. It's a wonderful thing to be involved in. We're so happy to be involved here with Overton High School. And you know the best thing about all this week, we're here today on a Sunday, and what, 3 days? We got a graduation of these young students here. What a week for these students here to get this marker in the ground and graduate from high school. I guarantee that's a first in history in Memphis, Tennessee right there. So on behalf of the Shelby County Historical Commission, Dr. Taylor, thank you so much for your efforts and leadership. Elliot, thank you for your help right here. We thank you all for coming out, and we're going to let the students unveil the marker here in just a few minutes after a few more words. Thank you.
Kids, come on up. We can. Yeah. Y'all get around the marker. Cam, Quentin, come get around the marker. Corey, Cornisha. There you are. And just get on each side of it.
Not a fence over there. Step right. Okay, now actually, since this is a westbound marker, the front side is westbound with the traffic, so you're reading the second side. Near this spot, on May 22nd, 1917, a lynching party chained L persons to a log, doused him in gasoline, and burned him alive. An estimated 5,000 spectators witnessed his death or viewed his remains soon afterwards. Person, a black woodcutter who lived nearby, was facing charges of raping and decapitating Antoinette Rappel, 15, a white schoolgirl last seen on her bicycle crossing the Wolf River over the Macon Road Bridge. In building a case against persons, authorities relied primarily on a coerced confession made, quote, after a long siege of beating and, quote, third-degree tactics from law officers, as the Memphis Press reported. Once authorities charged persons with the slaying, they sent him to Nashville for safekeeping. Continued on the other side. Meanwhile, groups of white men referred to as, quote, the Avengers monitored all rail lines into Memphis as persons' trial date approached. On May 21st, 1917, one of these groups overpowered two Shelby County deputies, seized persons, and removed him from a rail passenger car in Memphis. The next morning, stated the time and place where persons would be lynched. A carnival atmosphere prevailed here as automobiles jammed Macon Road and vendors sold drinks and snacks. After the lynching, onlookers dismembered person's charred body. Later that day, his head and foot were dumped on Beale Street for black pedestrians to see. No one was brought to trial in either Rappel or person's slayings. Placed by Facing History and Ourselves and Students Uniting Memphis of Overton High School and the Shelby County Historical Commission, May 2017. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, y'all ready? And then 1, 2, and 3.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on their leaves and blood at the roots, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, pastoral scenes of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and twisted mouth, scent of magnolias, sweet and fresh, and then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is the fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rise, for the trees to dry. Here is a strange and bitter cry. Thank you.
To the world, we're just a seed, but it's up to us on how far we sprout. Climbing over mountains, hills, and valleys, not letting anyone turn us around. A.L. Parsons was just a seed, but unlike us, he didn't get the opportunity to sprout. He was wrongfully beaten, accused, and killed. Now the world looks for answers, a way to find peace.
So the lack of conversation ends here today. As a community, we must come together and relay the message to future generations about this issue. And someday, there will be no more wrongful killings or other injustices in our society. L. Persons is a symbol of hope for us, a gateway. Yay!
The students of Overton High School's Facing History in Ourselves and Students United Memphis would like to thank Mr. Billings for his support and willingness to provide space for after-school meetings. Mrs. Mosby for always being there, Facing History in Ourselves for its support and providing a curriculum that allowed this project to occur. Elliot Perry for his belief in us, our goal and future. Erin Ostro for her kindness and continued support. And the Lynching Sites Project for continuing the work. Dr. Taylor, we'd like to thank you for always supporting us. Without her, I don't think we could have ever did this, so thank you.
Yay!
And Mr. Jimmy Ogle for his direction and his support. We couldn't have done it without him either. And all of you for coming out and supporting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. We just appreciate it so very much.
Now, obviously, there's another service at 3 o'clock today. We want everybody to take your pictures here. This is going to be here for a long time. The street's going to get widened soon, so we might have to relocate as well. But come back and go around. There's a tent back on the back of the property here where the next service will be at 3 o'clock. It's about 2:30 right now. Be careful with the street out here. Take all the photos you want. Thank you all for coming today, and we'll see you at the 3 o'clock service right over here. Thank you.